Whiskey Tango Talks. I'm your host, Eric Pistoro. We have a collective group of people here, but this episode is more of me talking, and we'll have a few people chime in. But I just want to talk for a moment about positivity. And not just positivity in the sense of just luck. I want to talk about positivity in the human form. I just had an interaction with an older gentleman about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, whatever it may be by the time you listen to this. And it just was one of those things where for a moment I realized life for me has come full circle. And I say that because humanity is far gone. Humanity is far gone in the sense of we collectively as a community have lost each other. And it fucking sucks. It hurts. I get emotional thinking about it. My eyes are tearing up now as I talk about it. Humanity in a whole is lost. They say it takes a village to raise a boy or to raise a child. And I firmly believe that the ass whooping my neighbor would have gave me as a kid for being an asshole should be the same ass whooping that my mother gave me for being an asshole. And we've lost that as a society. But the other day, my faith in humanity was renewed by a 63-year-old man named Gregory. Gregory is a worker at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. And why is that important to me as a person? See, 63 puts him in a category where he's older than me, but younger than the people I deal with on a daily basis. 63 to me tells me that he is wise beyond years, dealt with some shit, and grew up during a time that was hard. What I have failed to mention about Gregory is that he's black. Now, 63 and black. That tells me he lived through a time where segregation was a problem. Here I am, 35 years old, white male, beard, bald head, and Gregory looked at me with all of his kindness and asked me how he could help me that day. Now, what I didn't realize was my battery dying in my truck would take me to Gregory that day. It was just kind of a weird situation where it all fell into place, and it killed me. It killed my heart. Battery died. Next door neighbor, older gentleman, helps me jumpstart my truck, get my kid to school, go to O'Reilly's, meet Mr. Gregory, black, 63 years old. Walked in, hey, need my battery tested. Right? Battery tester comes out, gets it all hooked up. Got a dead battery. All right, well, show me what your best deal is, and that's the deal I'm going to go with, and I'll buy a battery. Okay, right? So we get to talking. He comes outside. He starts wrenching on my vehicle. Now, 63 years old. I'm 35, and this guy takes it upon himself to do the work because that's his job. I can't allow that as a person. I can't. You're an older gentleman. I get this is your job. Let me help. Hey, young man, I appreciate you helping out. He said, you might be the most polite person I've met. This is what he says to me. I said, man, I just know how I feel at 35. You must feel at 63, right? And he kind of looked at me and he says, are you former service? I said, why? He goes, well, I'm Army. I said, well, I was Army too, sir. He said, yeah, 23 years. And I said, I had the unfortunate incident, and I was taken out of the military through a medical relief, but I appreciate your service. He turned to me, shook my hand. I appreciate your service. I said, no, sir, the shit you went through is more than I had to deal with. He said, well, the shit you probably went through is more than I had to deal with. But there was an understanding. There was a love. There was a connection as a person, as a human, that we understood we both went through some shit given our time and our age. I had no fucking connection to this person other than being military and human. Here we were, 15 minutes later, the battery's already in the truck, and we're still conversating. We're talking about cars. We're talking about his children. We're talking about where he's from. How old's your daughter? Oh, she has a speech impediment? Yeah, I think she might be autistic. You know, here we are, we're talking as human beings. It didn't occur to me that Gregory's 63. It didn't occur to me that Gregory was black. And for me, it's a situation where I was kind of just lost. And I was lost in the conversation. I was lost in the love of humanity. I was lost in the love of caring. Just, it was weird. And I said, Greg, I said, I appreciate all your help. I appreciate this conversation. And I hope to come back with lunch and just sit and chat with you. This is one of those situations where you as a human being, sorry I'm choked up, it doesn't happen on a day-to-day basis. And it should. It really should. You don't meet people day to day that make you question humanity. No?
Very true. Correct.
I don't know. Just hard. And like I said, I was hoping I was a little inebriated enough not to get emotional. But for the last 2 weeks or week and a half, that's all I thought about was this guy Gregory, and how could I give back to that man that gave me just 25, 30 minutes of his life at 63. And just, it was weird, man. But we shook hands. And it was that awkward moment where we wanted to pull towards each other and hug, but we both didn't. And I just said, hey, it would be an honor. I want to bring you lunch, and I want to sit down and I want to talk with you. Because you're somebody that understands life. You know? That's what we miss. That's the human connection that's hard. But thoughts, anybody? You're more than welcome to chime in. Like I said.
We don't.
Here. Come on.
We
No, come over here. You're gonna take over a minute. Take over a minute.
for the longest time, I mean,
Mike, get over there.
for throughout all of our history, we were a community, and it didn't matter what you looked like or what you ate or if you prayed or if you didn't pray, and who you prayed to, and nothing mattered. It was, hey, we're a community, and it's us against the elements. It's us against the wild animals out here trying to eat us, and it's us against, it's us building community, and now it's a fight, it's a struggle, but instead of struggling mutually to be successful, we feel like we have to struggle against each other. We feel like we're in competition with our neighbors and with the next guy, and we're not. Not a single person you meet on the street is your competition, no matter if you're a professional or if you're still a student or if you're an old retiree. We are not each other's competition. We rely, unless you live in a bush, you rely on another human being somewhere. Your home was built by people. The products you buy are built or produced by people. The food you eat is made by people. So even if you're the biggest asshole, you rely on other human beings to help you live your life the way you live your life. So respect that and take time to have conversations and take time to understand. And I mean, we put on our manly, beards and tattoos and muscles and we're big manly, but like love, life is love. Love is the coolest fucking thing you can feel in the world. And it's good and it's positive and it should be encouraged, but instead we wear the veneer of apathy and it's fucking destroying us. Like it's eating our souls, for lack of a better term, and it's got to stop. so through podcasts and through just reaching out and having connections with people, instead of going on a crusade against the guy who makes a decision you may disagree with. It's just stop. You're not the smartest person in the world. You're not the best. Your feelings aren't more important, because honestly, everybody has feelings and everyone's feelings are important. So before you worry about how hurt your feelings are, think about how your actions affect other people, and just stop and think and be in the moment. Because we've all been through what we've all been through. Every single person you meet has a richness that they can bring to your life if you stop. Open the door. Like, stop it. You're not special. I mean, everyone's special, but you're not. You're not an island.
You're not special by yourself. You're special
Right.
because of the ones around
This
you.
is what
Because of
makes
you
it.
create.
This is what makes it special. This is why we do all the bullshit we do for human connection.
So that story's crazy because
Go ahead. Yeah.
that story's crazy because I always try to explain this to people, how important human connection is and how important just spending like 5 to 10 minutes, even like you don't have to spend 20 to 30 or an hour or anything, just 5-10 minutes to get to know somebody, to just compare life, because nobody has the answers. But it's getting more and more rare now with social media and phones. And, you know, I got a 2-hour limit on social media on my phone, and I break it daily. You know what I mean? And just social media is just there's a lot of more hurdles with social media. I mean, everybody in this room, I think, has experienced, you know, knowing somebody in a social media realm, as far as I know them. And then we message each other. And then when I see them in person, it's different, because there's no actual human connection.
Yeah.
Because there's no actual, we spoke online, but there's no actual connection there.
Yeah.
So when you actually know somebody and you actually speak to them face to face and say, "Hey man, how was your day?" That's totally different than, "Hey, what's up? Not much. You." That, like, the common, you know, I'm saying the same thread over and over again.
Yeah.
So
It cheapens it.
It's amazing.
it cheapens it, is the right, you know, that's
Yeah.
a good term for it.
It's amazing how much that term throws people off. Like, hey, how are you doing? Hey, what's going on? What's going on with you? I'm gonna take 5 minutes of my life, and I want to know about you, not about.
Can I help you with anything?
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do?
And it's genuine.
Yeah.
And it's genuine. How about when that's a daily, like, that has become a regurgitated, like, essentially bullshit. Like, hey, what's up? None much. You, what do you do? Like,
Right.
You don't actually give a shit about what that person's doing.
Yeah.
But when you genuinely ask somebody, hey, how you doing? How you been lately? And you're serious, that sometimes does throw people off.
It does a lot.
Because they're like,
Yeah.
well, you actually
Whoa.
want to know? And then,
What's your problem?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Shut the fuck up, man.
Exactly, dude. None of your business.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
but they genuinely want to know, and it makes somebody feel good. You don't know what that person's going through.
Yeah.
Hey, man, maybe that person just got out of a knee surgery, and he's like, you know, not feeling adequate, not feeling like, why did my body fail me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is how I felt 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
When I had a knee surgery. Or that person's going through something else. Or maybe that person's doing well, and that person will ask you the same question in return, and you could tell them, hey, man, this is what I'm going through. What do you think? And maybe that person has some good insight for you.
Yeah. Instead, we're all in our self-contained bubble of my priorities, my life, my problems, me, and we forget to reach out and rely on our friends and our community, and because it's just everything's delivered right to us, and so we forget that we're part of something bigger.
Absolutely. I think, so I don't know much about life. I'm 25 years old, obviously. I don't think anybody knows. Every time I ask my dad for advice, every time my dad is 66, and every time I ask him for advice, he gives me the same answer. Well, when you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he like, just basically telling me, like, dude, I don't know. Like, you make a decision. This is what I experienced. He'll tell me his experiences. He'll tell me what he would do in that situation, but then he'll ultimately just tell me in his, you know, Eastern European Russian accent, be smart, and you know what to do, because there's no right or wrong answers.
Yeah, and there's no there's no reason for all the blaming and pointing the finger and acting like you've got it figured out, because none of us have it figured out.
Dude, not one person. And if you're acting like you figured it out, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Stop acting like you figured it out.
Yeah, you're trying to kid yourself.
Yeah.
If you're pretending like you know the answers, you're trying to convince yourself.
You're coming back in. I don't think you're out of it yet.
Yeah, you're not out of the woods yet.
Yeah, no. I just, like I said, the conversation and everything that started this, just that human connection, it's been forever I had. So I want my listeners who are listening and everybody in this room, I want you to take a minute and reflect. Reflect on the last time that you felt human connection. How long has it really been? Think about that. Like, this was a situation where a 63-year-old man made me leave a situation where I felt like I didn't do enough.
Absolutely.
You know? And as I was driving home, I remember texting my wife and saying to myself, I just had a great experience. I almost cried. This older man just was such a kind soul. And I'm not one who believes in religion, but I do believe in positive energy and spirit. And this old man, he just, for a turn of things, made me stop and think to myself, fuck, how could I be better? How could I be that old guy? You know what I mean? 63 years old, retired from the military, and he couldn't do retirement because he wasn't doing enough for his community. You know? So he decided, you know what? I'm going to work at O'Reilly's. And O'Reilly's gave him the opportunity to be a fucking tech there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we brief get Gregory on the podcast. Why not?
Yeah.
Right?
I think so. I think he brings. I mean, just I don't know him obviously, but
Yeah,
I think
right.
he brings a lot to the table just in experience alone.
Right.
You ever have somebody do something so fucking nice for you that like you're like, that's wild. That's like the only response.
No,
can
no.
be-
I have a ton of things, but this was wild in the sense of it fed my soul.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know, like
Just
I've
put shock
had
in
friends that have gone out of their way for me to the point of where I'm like, oh fuck,
Yeah.
like I mean something to this motherfucker. But then I had a stranger.
That's what I'm saying. It's different when it's a stranger.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I had a stranger just completely change my thought, and I said to myself, why haven't I done enough for my community? And here I am, 7.5 years working with troubled youth
Right.
in my community, but
Make you question all reality.
right, but here it was, this old man, just in the fucking 45 minutes or whatever it was that I talked to him, just completely obliterated my idea of what a good human being was. You know? So I would encourage all of my listeners, all my friends, just take a minute, reach out to the person that you might not talk to and talk to them. You don't have to be friends, but you can give words of encouragement. You don't have to be overly positive and creepy.
Yeah.
You know, you're not a pastor, but there is something you could say to that person that might not usually hear something that might make their day. That's what's key to me, you know. So last part of my years that I worked with children, last year and a half, I worked with not only at-risk youth, but autistic kids, some kids that had mental retardation. They're labeled MR, which is mental retardation. So for those that want to come after me, fuck off. It's a medical term. Right? Yeah. Fuck these assholes.
When did that word change, by the way?
I don't know.
felt like it was like one day it just
It's
snapped.
because the bros used it to call each other stupid, so it became an issue.
It's wild. I feel like I'm losing more and more words every day.
Every day. So, but working with those kind of kids in the last like year and a half of my time working with kids, there's a common bond that you develop with those kids that's hard to explain. And recently went to a movie with my wife, and the movie's called Peanut Butter Falcon. Shia LaBeouf. An amazing movie, and they used an actual Down syndrome guy.
I heard about this.
Yeah, who played his own character. Fantastic movie. I would suggest everybody see it. And if you don't understand when I say human connection when you watch that movie, you're soulless, you're heartless, you're gutless. Let's say that. You're a coward. If you can't open your heart to somebody who's less fortunate mentally, you're a coward. That's just my honest opinion, because it's hard to understand what people go through on a mental basis who are okay. Everybody has their stress level. Everybody has their woes. Everybody has their relationship issues. Now you're telling me that you're going to deal with somebody who doesn't understand those things and deals with the disability of autism or the disability of Down syndrome. Go watch that movie. You'll understand and you'll have a better perspective of what it is to deal with people like that. And actually, Boca Raton, Mike, where you're from.
Yeah.
I think that's where they went in the movie.
Really?
After they left.
I'm going to see this. I'm a big movie guy.
It's a good movie, man. Shia LaBeouf, Peanut Butter Falcon, fantastic. I just want to close. What are we at time-wise?
27 minutes.
Yeah, that's all I
That's
really
about
want.
right.
That's all I really wanted this one to be. I just want to close with the fact that it takes a human to be a human. And lend a hand. Be somebody who respects other people. And as much as you have hate, let it go. I'm a hateful fucking person. And I have been all my life due to my upbringing. But let go of it. Because once you do, bits and pieces of your daily stress will fade away. That's Whiskey Tango Talks. I'm Derek Pizzatori, your host. I'd like to thank Mr. Mike Kosei, Bryce Nance, and Robin Miller for chiming in on this podcast. That wraps it up. Have a good night.